Hi, welcome to 360. I'm your host, Kennedy Rivers. We're here with Isabel, Izzy, and Harlan. Today we're going to talk some NFL football. So let's begin. The Seattle Seahawks are now the Super Bowl champs of 2026. They defeated the New England Patriots last night, the score of 29-13. What are our takeaways from this game, and was it as boring as social media made it out to be?
Absolutely. This game was the most boring Super Bowl I've ever watched. But first, even ahead of the Super Bowl, I felt like there was no promotion for it. I felt it was the least advertised, least hyped up Super Bowl of all time. Personally, I think people are tired of the Patriots winning. They don't want to see them add. And I think Seahawks, I hate the Seahawks, so I'm going to put some personal beliefs outside. There's no Seahawks fan anywhere except Washington. So it's like no one really cared about this. I just think it was like the first half was like, okay, 3 and out, Drake May, tackle, Sam Darnold, little pass, 3 and out kick. Like, there was nothing exciting. I was kind of like waiting, like, okay, let's go. It went by so fast. And I was like, and then halfway, I was like, oh, okay.
Right.
Wasted 30 minutes of my life that nothing happened from it.
Yeah, right. I would agree with that. I think, there's 2 words to describe the first half, and that's a snooze fest. It was very slow. I was actively falling asleep watching it, and I think, but that's also a clear reflection of how good these defenses were. I mean, let's talk about Seattle's defense, how talented they are, led by head coach Mike Macdonald. Just insane how talented these guys are.
Agreed. The first touchdown wasn't even scored until the fourth quarter. I felt like that's when the game actually started, was the fourth quarter. I was like, oh, great. Those first 3 quarters are just like a warm-up for both teams. Like, now let's officially start the game in the last 15 minutes left. But, if you were watching this and you really like defense, and this was the game for you to watch. Like, this was a defensive game. So some people do like that, like, strategic football, like, very, like, high defense games. Personally, do I? No. I like to see the touchdowns. I like to see the touchdown dances. Like, I like to see that.
I like points on the board.
Yeah,
I agree with that.
When the only points that are going on the board are field goals, it becomes a little boring.
A little rocky.
I was counting down till the Super Bowl halftime show, and even the commercials weren't good.
For me,
there was a lot of AI. There was a lot of AI commercials, so I was just like, this is great. Like, what am I watching this for?
Right.
Was the halftime show?
Let's talk about that Dunkin' Donuts commercial. Rather creepy, if you ask me.
Yeah,
a little
it was.
creepy.
It
a little
was.
disturbing. Yes.
I hope
the
everyone
most
watched
action,
the
talking about Seahawks defense, the most action we got from a Patriots wide receiver in the first 3 quarters was Stephon Diggs going over to the Seahawks bench and talking crap. Like, that's the most action he did for the first 3 quarters. And I was like, yes, again, people like the defensive game. Like, it's not really good for viewership.
Right,
I think both these teams were really good. And I don't like it. Like, it was
I agree. I don't even think the offense was even, great for the Seahawks. 17 out of 29 of your points are coming from field goals. Like, where's our offensive? I don't see any explosive plays from JSN. Yes, he went to the tent a little bit, but I expect a little more of explosiveness coming from the team. They won, obviously, but that was a defensive-like game, in my opinion. So my follow-up question is, would you rather see the Broncos play versus the Patriots last night? Do you think the Broncos could have done a little bit differently?
No, because I think when Bo Nix went down, their season kind of like Patriots had an easy win. You were playing against a QB who didn't take a snap all regular season.
Yeah.
Like,
healthy Bo Nix, then. Let me rephrase that with healthy Bo Nix.
Absolutely. I think it was a better game.
Okay, so this is a lot of what if this happened, and if that happened, we could get this game. If we had a healthy Bo Nix versus the Seahawks, yes, it would be a much better game. But if we had that was a good question. I wasn't trying to but if we had the Broncos from last round with the Patriots, I think it would have been the same exact thing than what the Patriots gave me. I think I knew going into this game, I was like, yeah, the Seahawks are beating whoever wins this game between this.
Drake was
Patriots
just unrecognizable, shut down so quickly.
How are you going to be runner-up for MVP and this is the Super Bowl performance?
Yeah, it's insane.
All right, so let's talk a little bit more about the New England Patriots. And this is the first time they made the big game since post-Belichick era. So is this a young quarterback and a mastermind head coach? Is this the start of a revival for the Patriots?
No.
You're going no.
Did we watch the same Super Bowl? Drake May did absolutely nothing. Their O-line is the problem. When you get sacked 6 times, in his first 3 games in the playoffs, he was sacked a total 5 times. 1 game is 6. Like, Drake May can't put all of the pressure on him. His O-line needs to help. And I applaud him. Like, for me, I've never really been a Drake May, I can see carrying a team to the Super Bowl like Patrick Mahomes or Josh Allen. Like, I've never seen him like that. I know, sorry.
Well, Josh Allen can't carry his team to the Super Bowl either. So,
but he has no Stephon Diggs is the biggest name in his weapons, and he's kind of a little bit washed. I feel like he's lived his life, retire soon. And to me, it was very disappointing when Vrabel won Coach of the Year, and then 3 days later, this is what your offense looks like and your defense looks like in the big game.
It
Like,
was a disaster.
Yeah,
It was a
exactly.
disaster. Yeah.
I think that going back to that, I think the Patriots, I think they'll be back. I just think it was too young. I mean, you're right. Stephon Diggs is their only weapon. They need to get an explosive player out there. You can't rely on Henderson and your other running backs to get through that line of scrimmage, especially when you have dominant teams like the Broncos and Seahawks in the playoffs. That's where we saw a lot of the defenses. They just aren't able to get that run game going. So getting an explosive player, and I also think, again, strengthening that offensive line will help them get to where they need to be next year.
I agree with that. I think that the fact that this was only his rookie season and his stats were comparable, if not better, to Tom Brady. I think this is the best that we've ever seen the Patriots. And you're right, Harlan, that was a very bad performance, terrible performance. But I think, he, in his 18 regular season games, he had nearly 4,000 yards and he threw 22 touchdowns. That's just like unheard of for a rookie quarterback. So I think the Patriots are on the up and I think the franchise should be excited. This could be a new era and I'm excited to see where it ends up.
I don't think it's a dynasty. I think maybe a rebuild is what we're seeing right now. I do really like Mike Vrabel for the Patriots. I think he's got a good mind when it comes to coaching a team. I think they were a little exposed because they did have a very easy schedule. That was one of like the main concerns about this New England
They
Patriots
lost
team.
to the Raiders week 1.
Yeah, they had a very easy schedule. I think the most important thing about next season is their strength of the schedule. They have a lot harder of a schedule next season, so I think that will be a bigger test to this New England Patriots team. So right now, I feel like the talent's there. I think they can, in the postseason, that it can work on getting a better in the offseason, I apologize, sorry, but they can work on getting better O-line. I mean, Will Campbell, what I just remember watching him in the draft. He was like, yeah, my only goal is to protect my quarterback. Oh, good. You let him get sacked 20 million times. Great
failed
job.
that ball.
Right. I mean, I
No.
do like the kid, but I think I saw 2 clips where it was clearly his fault for 2 of the sacks of
Right.
Drake May. So I think that's something that they have to focus on. I think they need to get a little bit more weapons for Drake May. But as for a second year going into the Super Bowl in your second year and then their year before, it was a completely flip. So I really like how the Patriots look, but I think next season will definitely be a testament to them. So I think it you just have to wait and see. But I think getting into your Super Bowl, your second year, and your first year starting is very impressive. And then your first year as a head coach, getting your team to a Super Bowl.
Now that brings me to the Seahawks. Is the Seahawks, can they repeat next year? Can they
No.
make it far in the playoffs?
That Rams Seahawks game was very close, and I think the Rams also have a lot of momentum. I think Stafford, he's old, but I think if he doesn't retire, I think he still has it. I think winning the division was really good for them, gave them a better strength of schedule in the playoffs. I think JSN's just getting started, so I can definitely see him going. Sam Darnold, I think, is kind of a fluke because we saw him on the Vikings last year, and he was 1 and out. He had the number 1 seed. He was 1 and out with the Vikings through a lot of picks. I was very surprised he didn't throw any picks in the Super Bowl. I think he did really good this year. I don't see him really repeating that.
I don't know. I felt like this was kind of a redemption for him. I kind of liked it. I mean, we saw his potential with the Vikings, but then, what happened with them.
in.
Yeah, and then took his spot, and I
Ended
think
up being worse.
Right.
I think a lot of Vikings fans watched that Super Bowl in sadness and were like, could have that been us? I don't know. I personally like Sam Darnold. I don't know. It's just I love a good story. I know you don't like because of the Niners and stuff, but
The bias.
I love a good story, and I think he's cute. And I think, I don't know. I like what is his name?
Mike McDonald.
Mike McDonald. Yeah.
McDonald.
It's Donald.
Oh my God. I don't know.
McDonald, yes.
Sorry, but
He is good. He did really good.
I don't know. I like the Seahawks. I think that they can be
Yeah.
a contender next year too.
I agree. I think it's refreshing also to see a young perspective in this head coaching position. He's one of the youngest coaches in the entire NFL, and he already has a Super Bowl under his belt. So I think this is really exciting and refreshing for this team. And I think the Seattle Seahawks could have, a pretty long-lasting dynasty, if you will.
Yeah, I agree. He's young, and this is his second year with the Seahawks. So let's see if he can keep this going, keep the momentum
I
going.
think when you think Seahawks head coach, you think Steve Carroll. So just getting kind of under, away from what he did with the team, and it was good. They were successful, but just kind of making your own for this team and going to the Super Bowl in your first or second year was very commendable. I say.
Yeah. So Kenneth Walker brought home the Super Bowl MVP last night. There are a lot of thoughts and opinions on whether did he deserve it or did Jason Myers, the Seahawks kicker, deserve MVP. So where do we fall in this debate?
Listen, did he go 5 for 5 on the field goals? Yes. Do I think he deserved MVP? No. I mean, Kenneth Walker, like, he got him where he needed to be for the field goals. It's a really hard. It's very hard, but he has one job: kick it in the thing, and he did his job. Are you going to award him for that, for being mediocre? I mean, he didn't miss anything. Maybe I have a bad take right now, but I don't know. Kenneth Walker, he's like running through people, getting the first downs, stuff like that, which I think is a lot more harder than kicking a field goal.
I agree. And I think it's refreshing finally to see a Super Bowl MVP be a running back. This is the first time it's happened since the Broncos' Terrell Davis in '98. I think this is so impressive. He rushed for 135 yards and 27 carries, I believe. That's like almost unheard of.
Yes.
In a game, in a slow game, if that. He pretty much carried Seattle's, offense on his back.
Yeah.
So I think he absolutely deserved it.
He was doing this all postseason.
Yeah.
Too. He kind of carried them into this postseason.
I kind of agree. I mean, disagree. Sorry. Sorry. I think it's Kenneth Walker. I think, yes, you're right. He did get them to the points. You set a Super Bowl record with the most field goals ever in a Super Bowl up before yesterday was 4, and he went 5 for 5. And if you tally every single, the yardage he kicked, it's 180, and Kenneth Walker is 135 yards. And so that to me alone was but in that third quarter, I'm looking around the room, I'm like, are they really about to give Super Bowl MVP to a kicker? I don't think it should be, but in my head, that would be the perfect ending for such a sucky game.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be I'd be oh, makes sense. But I definitely think you couldn't have given it to a kicker just because of
you're getting paid millions of dollars to kick into a field goal. How
Right.
hard can
That's
it be?
what I
I mean,
mean,
I can
Kenneth
never.
Walker's
But
getting hit every single
you're
play.
getting-
And when Charbonnet down, he was the sole man in the NFC Championship and the Super Bowl, and he had kind of put the running game on his back. Yes, they have a third string, but it just didn't make sense to me.
Right.
I kind of felt like I would look up Nwosu, which is the defensive player who had a pick 6, 46-yard pick 6. That's what I was kind of looking at. Okay, well, I would look over here before I'd look at Kenneth Walker. I feel like I would have been hands down Kenneth Walker if that in the fourth quarter it would have been a 76-yard touchdown. I mean, the holding call and turned it back, but I would have been hands down Kenneth Walker. But I kind of was I don't know. I didn't see any spark or flare. I would have given it to the kicker. I think that's a better storyline in my opinion on that section.
No one deserves the MVP. No offense, but no one did.
Right.
I feel like Kenneth Walker. I'm so glad I went to running back because I'm just so tired of a quarterback being MVP and in the whole league. I'm just so many times I've been a running back who should get it, but they're a running back over a quarterback. But 135 yards, that's a lot in a slow game. But I feel like we've seen more MVPs in the last couple Super Bowls that have put better stats up.
I agree. All right, so now that the season is concluding, 31 out of 32 teams are looking for that next season. So let's go to the board and talk about what teams or what players have to prove themselves next year.
Okay, so I picked a team with the most to prove, and I picked no other than the New York Giants. So I love Jackson Dart just as much as the next person. And when I saw their draft last year, I thought they were going to be better than what they were. I think injuries really took, obviously Malik Neighbors off and Cam Scatterbo. And Jackson Dart's entering his second year. And I think starting as a rookie, he really understood that. And I think when you add back your star wide receiver, your star running back, who really proved himself and then unfortunately just got hurt on the MetLife turf, what's new with these organizations, I think it really will add to this offense and really change it. The number one thing they do have to prove is that they just spent $100 million to get a head coach, John Harbaugh. And John Harbaugh, he got fired from the Ravens. This Ravens team that he got fired from wasn't terrible. They were one win away from going to the playoffs. And they had Lamar Jackson, Derrick Henry, Zay Flowers. He had good teams around him, and I think he has a lot to prove to himself, making sure and that makes the Giants organization a lot to prove as a whole. And I think when you go to New York, even Jets and Giants, those are not great organizations overall. And so just going there, I think he can win and he can prove, and he has a star quarterback that you can be more of an elite coach than he already is. So,
yeah, I think with Malik Neighbors coming back, Jackson Dart and Scatterbo or Bo,
maybe, I don't know.
and then John Harbaugh as your new coach, I think you have a lot to prove.
He was the best coach available at the time when you're hired, and I think he was the best candidate overall. And $100 million is a big lump sum of money
Absolutely.
that like he better perform. Like
Yeah.
you have a quarterback, like I feel like a lot of people think like, oh, once you have a quarterback like that, everything kind of falls into place, or like that's the thing. Like we better perform. Like there's no other thing to perform, but he didn't really get fired from like a terrible thing. Like he didn't go 3-14. He went 8-8, 8-9. Like
Yeah.
he was one win away from going to the playoffs. Like
Right.
just
Absolutely.
Yeah. All right, Isabel, Izzy.
Confusing. I'm gonna have to go with my Eagles. They have a lot to prove. One big thing about the city of Philadelphia is that they are a championship or bust team and city. So they had a Super Bowl winning caliber team again this year. And what happened with them? They got out the first round. A lot of people called for the firing of the offensive coordinator, and he did get fired. People also called for the firing of Nick Sirianni. He still is on the team as the head coach, so I think he has a lot to prove this season. I think this is his make or break season. Has he gone to the Super Bowl and won the Super Bowl in 3 years? Yes, but I'm not impressed by him. I think he still has a lot to do. I think he works behind his offensive coordinators, and I think that's why he looks good, because he has great coordinators for him. I mean, Vic Fangio, he's great. And the Eagles just lost their O-line coach, which was one of the best O-line coaches in all of football. So I think that the Eagles really have a lot to prove this upcoming season, that they can do it without all these like great coaches. I don't know. I think Jalen Hurts is also, he has a lot of eyes on him from the media. And I think this is a season where he has to go out there and just shut everybody up, because I have faith in him, and I think a lot of other people have faith in him too, but he just really has to go out there and show who he is. And I think that's why the Eagles have the most to prove this upcoming season.
I agree. It's like you went from the Super Bowl and you still made the playoffs, but I think in the Eagles, like you know how good this team is. Like I don't like as a person watching football, I don't get how your GM consistently gets people in those trade deadlines, and like you know you should go more than the first round.
Yes, I think there's just a lot of things that happened this year with the Eagles, and it just was a downfall. The offensive just had a collapse, and
Absolutely.
I think that's.
I obviously am a Dallas fan, so I do have bias against the Eagles, but I think another big part of it was an ego problem. I think, they went in with too high expectations, reigning Super Bowl champs, and I think they thought they had the playoffs in the bag, and that's why they were a first-round exit. So I think you're right. They do have a lot to prove.
Yeah, they got beat by a
I think they made the
half-injured
playoffs, didn't they?
49ers. Yeah, but you got beat by a half-injured 49ers team.
I kinda
what
like your
happened to
ego
the
thing, so.
49ers next game, huh?
Got beat by the reigning
Next
Super Bowl
year's our
champs.
season, right? Next year's our season. Yes. Well, this leads me to my pick. For my board segment pick, I chose none other than Bo Nix. I've been absolutely obsessed with Bo Nix and his performance up until his devastating injury in the division round against the Buffalo Bills. I think Bo Nix is the real deal. I mean, his stats absolutely speak for itself. He threw nearly 4,000 yards. If you had him for fantasy this year, he was a heck of a quarterback. He produced 316 points. I believe he threw 25 touchdowns. So I believe that Bo Nix is the real deal, and there were a lot of high expectations. I think he absolutely, if he hadn't broken his ankle in that division round, he could have definitely defeated Drake May and his Patriots and gone on to play in the Super Bowl. And I think there's a lot of speculation that his performance will only increase in performance and really become a solid franchise quarterback. So like I said, my pick is Bo Nix, and I think he's the real deal.
It was really devastating when he went down, because I don't know a person who doesn't like Bo Nix.
Yeah.
And I like what this Denver team's doing.
Yes.
So it was really sad. And
Yeah, I think that question Kennedy asked at the beginning, like if the Broncos had healthy Bo Nix against the Patriots and ended up beating the Patriots and going to the Super Bowl, I think we would have gotten a much better Super Bowl with the Broncos and healthy Bo Nix. But
I think the fact that also the Broncos had only lost by 3, it was a 10-7 game in the AFC Championship, with their backup quarterback who really never picked up the ball before. I think they absolutely would have blown that game out of the water if Bo Nix was there and gone on to the Super Bowl.
agreed. I'm excited to see what he does next season.
Yeah, me as well.
All right, that brings up my pick.
Ooh.
So my pick is going to be the Broncos. I completely agree with Isabel. I mean, Bo Nix is, once you get a healthy quarterback, you're almost set for there. You keep looking at their defense. It's consistent defense that is really strong with Patrick Surtain on that secondary. And I'm also going to look at their division. With Patrick Mahomes being out with the Kansas City Chiefs, you're going to have a little bit of time, a little bit of leeway to just get comfortable. And I don't want to see this team, Broncos team, be like the Chiefs in the past where they're getting those nail-biting wins. I want to see a strong, consistent, dominant Broncos team in the next year.
I mean, the Broncos looked great this postseason, but then, they collapsed and failed.
Again, holding the Patriots to only 10 points, like their defense can and did win them games and kept them in games, and it was terrible to see. And I think there's so much hype around the AFC Championship and the NFC Championship, and it was again, no one really wanted to see the Patriots go back to the Super Bowl, so I think a lot of people just defaultly went to the Broncos, but they were a good team. They're not really hated.
And talk about a comeback team too. I mean, I'll never forget that comeback victory over the Philadelphia Eagles. No shade to Izzy here or her team, but that was a huge, massive win. I believe I remember one game they came back with 0 points and then they scored 33 points in the fourth quarter.
That was their storyline the whole time.
They're a comeback team. Absolutely. Yes, and I think maybe we could have seen that in the Super Bowl had Bo Nix unfortunately not broken his ankle.
And that was the same thing with the Chiefs, though. Last season, it's the fourth. We were just every time we were watching, we were like, "All right, this is the game they're going to lose," and they just come right back.
It's not as fun when it's the Chiefs, though.
Wait, it's not. I was very excited they were against them, eliminated from playoffs early. So
Well, the Super Bowl has produced some wild stats the past 60 years. So we're going to play a little game to determine who was this last player to complete these little stats. So, who was the last non-quarterback to throw a touchdown?
I don't know, Nick Foles.
that was a quarterback.
You claim to be an Eagles fan.
No, I think it was
I didn't.
Did anyone? Didn't Saquon
Travis
throw?
Kelce?
Didn't Saquon throw last year?
Wait, was it Travis Kelce?
No, Saquon threw something last year. I thought.
Was it Saquon?
Was it Saquon? Was it somebody on the Eagles?
No, maybe not the Eagles. Who
I
was
didn't
before?
mean Nick
Niners
Foles. I meant
and
he
Chiefs.
catched it. That's what I meant. I'm trying to.
You caught
it.
it? It's been a long day.
Sorry, bro. Sorry. Okay, you need to answer.
Are you saying Saquon?
I'm going with Travis Kelce. That's
Okay.
my pick.
What do you say?
Yeah, I could
But
trust
also,
Kelce.
okay.
Because I
I
just
know
feel like
Christian McCaffrey threw one in the Super Bowl before the Chiefs and Eagles, but
all right, so that's what's locking in your vote.
Taylor
All right,
Swift.
let's see, drum roll.
Oh,
Jawan Jennings. All right.
if the Niners won that Super Bowl, he'd be MVP because no one
Well,
else did.
the Niners weren't going to win anything, babe.
Oh, okay.
I'm just really messing with his haircut. I think
That's
that's
really right
cool.
on.
Yeah, I love
Yeah,
that.
he-
I love the tips.
On fire.
Very fun.
All right, next question. Who was the last player to record 2 interceptions?
in the Super Bowl.
Yes.
I don't
In the
Super
Super
did
Bowl?
you have 2 or just
No,
one?
only one. That was peak life, though. Take me back.
I'm going to think.
I don't know this.
I don't think Jalen Hurts threw 2, and then
I think he did.
he probably did.
I'm gonna go with Jalen.
Yeah,
Wait, no.
let's go, Jalen.
Are you going to go against Jalen? Are you giving your...
I'm not saying Jalen Hurts. It's not
Okay,
Jalen Hurts.
we'll put in Jalen Hurts as our bid.
Imagine it's Brock Primo.
Oh, okay, Rodney
okay.
Harrison.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
A little bit
Yeah.
She's like, don't hate.
Yeah.
All right, we'll go for our third and final question for today.
Yeah, because we're on 2 right now.
Who was the last player to kick a 50-plus
Oh.
yard field goal?
Was it the guy on the...
See, I don't know. His
No.
most was 41.
Oh, I thought it
In the
was 60.
Super Bowl?
60 is Cam.
Oh.
No, 60.
Well, I think in the Super Bowl, because before
there was been a 60, 50 plus.
this year was 67, but that wasn't in the Super Bowl.
Huh?
But let's think in the Super Bowl, the last player
It wasn't. Not the last 2 Super Bowls. I know that.
who had a game-winning. Do we have any game-winning ones? That would be.
I'm gonna go with Brandon Aubrey.
Oh,
Okay.
He's exceptional. He's had many. I don't know if it was the last one. Probably wasn't because we didn't even make the playoffs. But he's my vote because I love him.
I don't know. I actually don't think. I don't remember there being a 50-plus yarder in the last couple Super Bowls.
Yeah.
All right. Well.
And it's in the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, I was like, it's like, don't think the
Oh,
Cowboys
okay. Yeah,
have.
Dallas is in the Super Bowl.
the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay. Jake Elliott.
Yeah, let's go Jake
All right.
Elliott.
We're going
Period.
to Jake Elliott for our final guess.
Oh, look at me!
Finish that off.
Look at me go.
Finish
Yes.
strong. All right.
Wow, look at Eagles. And it wasn't on for 2 interceptions, so.
And it definitely wasn't Brandon Aubrey. I don't know
Right.
whether it was the Cowboys haven't been to the Super Bowl and
Have they been in the playoffs?
It's right. They're gonna come around. They're gonna come around.
Don't make
Give
me
her-
cry.
No hate on the Cowboys. You know, we live in Dallas, so I don't hate on that as much. All right. So the next item on the NFL is the draft that's happening in April. We're very excited. That's gonna be in Pittsburgh this year. So, what are some expectations that we're expecting from this draft?
I think there's number one consensus is Fernando Mendoza. I don't think anyone has right. I don't think anyone has been so number one, and I think he might be the only QB drafted in the first round because this QB class is not good.
I agree. I think the only other person would be Dante Moore at Oregon, but he decided he's staying. So,
Which is crazy because I think he knew, and I don't think he's ready after what Oregon did. And so
I agree. And what's not to love about Fernando? I
Right.
mean, just the cutest little
Oh my
I
mugshot.
God.
really hope
He's
Las
so
Vegas doesn't
cute.
I know
ruin
these
him.
are really wanting Raiders not to ruin him, but
No.
they just got the new
offensive
head coach
coordinator.
who was the offensive coordinator of the Seahawks. So,
So I think he's in good
Oh.
hands. I
think
don't
so.
blame him.
literally that happened last night. I was like,
Right.
dude, aren't you
think
supposed to be celebrating with your team right now? Like,
Post game interview, he said that, and
Yeah.
I was like, oh, it's confirmed right off the bat.
Fernando could be the king of Las Vegas.
right. I
I
think
feel
they
like
would
he's-
treat him well.
I feel like he's the type of person. I feel like when people go to Vegas, there's so much, obviously, and like when people go to Raiders, like sometimes they don't make the best decision. I feel like Fernando, like
He's a smart.
He's-
smart
He's,
guy.
he's an all-around American
Yeah.
guy. Yeah.
Right.
And just the cutest.
I think
He's
this.
adorable.
I think this draft is going to be very defense heavy, though. I'm seeing a
Agreed.
lot of like
Yes.
defensive tackles, a little edge,
I was going to say
offensive
a lot of
linemen.
edge, yeah.
So, anyone in particular you guys want to see on your favorite team?
I think the Niners. We had so many injuries this year, and I think we need someone to on the other side of Nick Bosa, the edge from Texas A&M, Cassius Howell. I think with Bosa being so like injury prone and like he is really good, but he's only played quite literally half his career, and I like to bring back Seattle's running defense. That literally the MVP Kenneth Walker, he ran all over this Niners run defense. It was inexistent. So I think an edge would really help get to the opposite's quarterback. So yeah.
I'm also going to go with an edge for the Eagles. I think the Eagles pick 23rd, so I think all the offensive is probably going to be not really available. So I think that they should pick TJ Parker from Clemson. He's an edge, and I just think he's a part of like this stellar edge class that's in the 2026 draft, and I think he would be a great fit in the Eagles defense, and I think it would give the Eagles some insurance in case that they don't sign Phillips or he gets injured, because there's also a lot of people on the Eagles that will be that are up for a contract renewal. Reed Blankenship, I forget his first name, but Phillips. He's also up. There's just a lot of people, so I think that the Eagles should go with somebody on defense.
Yeah, it's looking like the NFC just needs a defensive rebuild. I mean, Dallas, you could not see a worse defense. We really struggled last
Your
year.
offense is good though. Ish.
Dak looked exceptional last year, I will say. But currently, I think, we look pretty good. We have 8 draft picks going into the 2026 draft. We have 3 picks in the 5th round, which is the most out of any team in an individual round. But just like you guys said, I think we need some, edges, including, I think Texas A&M's Cassius Howell is rumored to get picked up. And I think he'd be a huge asset and key component on our defensive end. There's also a rumor that former Oregon safety Dylan Thieneman, I'm not sure if I'm mispronouncing that, but he's very talented. We've seen it from a Penn State perspective. He's very strong and carried that Oregon defense. So I think just in general, any defensive star could really save Dallas's defense.
I think one of the players I want to look at is a Penn State offensive guard, big guy, and I think we
Yes.
need him at the Detroit Lions. I've seen Dak get sacked too many times this season, and it's just he's getting older. I mean, not that old, but like he's getting up there. I just want to see him be healthy. We needed some more offensive linemen up front. We had a lot of injuries up there, and just having someone there to protect Goff would be a great. I think that's what we need. And we rotated a lot of our offensive linemen just due to injuries. So just having someone else, a fresh mind, and obviously Penn State's linebacker university. So let's put a little bit, keep that Nittany line into that Detroit line, keep that spirit going. I would love to see that. So
I think when your intelligent offensive coordinator leaves, and we saw what he did on the Bears, like it was transform that Bears. I think it's very hard, and I think an O-line would really help and just kind of getting the lines where they used to be.
and keep him a little
Yeah,
safe, like
protect.
just give some more time to really sit in the pocket and just look. We don't need to be throwing the ball away as
Yeah.
much. There's so many things that can happen.
You don't want him to be like
Joe
Drake
Burrow.
May.
Oh.
Yeah, you don't want to be like Joe Burrow.
Well, he gets sacked every
Yeah.
play and gets
Don't get
hurt
me
and
started
come
on
back
that.
player of the year.
Don't get me started on that. because
I'd
we
be
don't have
really
enough time.
surprised if Bengals don't draft an O-line for that.
I wouldn't be surprised if they do because they're so stupid.
I mean, before it was 19 sacks postseason. Joe Burrow had that title. Drake May just took it yesterday
Yeah,
for 21
honestly,
sacks in postseason.
6 of those came last night.
Right.
So.
So we can look at that.
Right.
I mean, another player I'm kind of looking at is Ruben Bain from Miami. I mean,
Yeah.
I would love to see him at the Giants. I mean, you have John Harbaugh coming in. He has elite defenses. You put him up there with Abdul Carter, Brian Burns, so many people to learn after and just really grow and develop. I'm excited to see where this kid goes. I mean,
I know you're a Miami fan
I
as
am
well.
from Miami, so
but
all
Bain,
about
like,
it.
he was very. I know they lost. And I know like they lost in the like college playoff time, but you could see he made a difference on the
Right.
field. And I think some players, like, you kind of question if they're going to go from college to NFL. And I think this one is going to do really well in the NFL.
Yes, he's very good at like observing, seeing like, and he like will put a little sack in there, or put the pressure on. You won't even see it coming. So I love to see that. I mean, that will be good for the Giants, and with everything going up there in New York, I would love to see some maybe a little spark from down south. So, all right, so that's all we have for today's show. Thank you for watching 360, and we'll see you next time.